Hi again, everybody. This is Mr. Han, and this week we're working on graphical user interfaces, and you may be reading through the content. It's just one page of content for this week, but it's pretty dense, and you may be getting stuck on certain parts. So I wanted to show you how this works in Netbeans 8.2, and this is also by extension works for 7.3.1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new project just so you can see the setup. I'm going to go file a new project. It's going to be Java. It's going to be a Java application, and I'm going to call it data input. Right here where it says create main class, I'm going to have that deselected. In previous projects, we would have had that created for us. We don't want that to happen this time. I'm going to click finish. And you can see that it shows up here in NetBeans. This is my new project right here. And then what I'm going to do in order to have a graphical user interface, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to go new, I'm going to go JFrame form, and I can give this a name. Maybe I'll just call it interface. And so here it is here. And now things look a lot more like the course content. So the same sort of builder that was visible in the course content is what you have here. And you can drag and drop elements like labels and buttons into that space. Now what I want to do is show you a project that I've been working on, which is this one here. I'll go back to the design, and it's a pretty ugly design right now, but what its job is to take US dollars that are put into this field and convert them into UK pounds. So right now the layout isn't great. I can play around with it. I can resize some things so that it makes more sense. And once I have it looking the way I want, what I want to do is give all these parts meaningful names. So if I look over here, I've changed the label name to being output UK dollars label. I've changed the name of the button to being OK button. The output UK pounds will be what shows up in the text field there. The input US dollars will be this text field right here. And the input US dollars label is what we have right here. Now I'm going to go click on the button, the OK button, and I'm going to go down into the code. So what I have here is an event listener, and it's listening for the mouse click, and on click it's going to execute the code. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a string called US dollars. I've created a double called UKP for UK pounds, and a double called USD for US dollars. And what happens is I get that string US dollars from the input US dollars field, and I use the .text or the .getText method to make that happen. So that brings that text in, and now I'm storing it in this string called US dollars. The next thing I do is, as a string, it's pretty meaningless to the computer, especially if we're going to do math on it. What we have to do is turn it into a double. So this is maybe a little above our heads right now, but what I use is the double class, and I use the function parse double, and I passed it that US dollar string. And what that does, very simply, this is like a quick and dirty way of taking a string when you know it's a number and turning it into that number. And then now I store it in this USD double storage location. Now that I've turned it into a number, I can do my math on it. So I don't know if this is the actual conversion right now, but I've used a conversion rate of 2.1. And then what I do finally to send it back out is I have to take that number that I've created and turn it into a string. So what I do is, again, another sort of quick and dirty way of doing this. I call in that double class again, and I use its toString method, and I pass it the UKP, the UK pounds number, and it turns it into a string, and I save it in this string called UK pounds. And then I go back to my output on my screen, output UK pounds, and I set its text. I use the setText method, and I pass it UK pounds as a string. So now when I go and run my code, Here's my graphical user interface. It's pretty ugly right now. I'm going to put in $10 US dollars. I'm going to click on OK, and it's going to change the value that shows up for UK to 21 pounds. So this has been a successful build. Okay, you may be prompted to create a main class, the location of the main. That will happen usually the first time you run it. Okay. Other than that, this is how you set up a graphical user interface for the course if you're using Netbeans version greater than 6.9.1. Thanks very much for watching. Contact me if you have any questions.